What's up, dudes and dudettes, and welcome to the show. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's been bothering me a little bit. There's a video that's going around on Facebook talking about how much your Pokemon cards are worth. And if you found this video because you were asking the same question, I'm really sorry, but they're probably not as worth as much as you thought. Now, keep in mind, there are some cards out there that are really worth a lot of money. I just don't know if you have them, and if you do, how good of a condition they are. Now, this video goes on to show you some eBay prices, which is probably one of the most misleading things about the video. Aside from the fact that when they show these prices, they are sometimes not showing you the right card. Now, you're probably wondering if this price isn't trustworthy, well, what is? So if you actually do a little bit of homework, you can go and find websites like Troll and Toad or tcgplayer.com, and you can go find reliable prices that these cards are selling for there. Now, there's a lot of things that contribute to the prices of these cards. For instance, rarity, how many times it's been reprinted. Is it a competitive card? Is it old? And if so, is it a collector's item? And is it in good condition? These are the basic questions you want to ask yourself when you're looking at these cards. So let's go over these factors real quick and check out your cards. If you have your binder, go ahead and pull it out and look at them. So first off, how rare is your card? Can you find it on eBay? Does everyone and their mom have one? And pretty much it's a supply and demand game at this point. So if everyone has this card, obviously the price is going to go down. If you see it all over eBay, the price isn't going to be so high. And if you can find it on Troll and Toad or on TCG Player, depending on how many sellers have it and how many there are, the price is obviously going to go down. So how many times has your card been reprinted is a very important question. Now, reprints are when a card came out in a set and enough people didn't have it, or they wanted the card to be re-released again, so that card was printed again. Now, I'm going to show you two pictures, the first one and the second one. Now, how many of you guys could actually tell the difference? Well, if you couldn't, the first Charizard is worth a lot more. The second Charizard was actually reprinted in either last year or this year. So that one's going to be worth a lot less. I really wanted you guys to see if your card is actually worth something and how hard it is to tell if you have the reprint or not. Now, there are ways to tell. If you look at the symbols, you'll be able to tell what set that card came from. Now, let's say you have the old Charizard, the base set Charizard. Something you want to note is if it has a little shadow on the border. I'll show one right now. If a shadow is there, then it's probably worth less. If a shadow isn't there, congratulations, you have a base set Charizard. Now, let's go into this. Is it old, this Charizard? Yes, this Charizard is old. Is it competitive? That is another question that you want to ask yourself. This Charizard, probably not so much. X and Y have a reprint of it. It's the same Charizard. And you can play this Charizard currently in the game as it stands. This Charizard can be played, but are people playing it? Probably not. People are just collecting them and just going back to having the original 150. That said, if you have the original base set Charizard, you're probably only looking to sell to collectors. You're not going to sell to anyone who's probably competing right now, because they're probably going to use the cheaper, more accessible Charizard to play with it if they are actually playing with it. Now, when you were little, you probably put the card in your pocket, or you probably bent it somehow. This is like one of the worst things ever. This is like a collector's nightmare, and you really don't want this to happen to your cards. In fact, probably half of you didn't even put them in your binders, and for those of you who did, I applaud you. But you weren't taking the right steps necessarily to keep the card's longevity at its peak. Now, most collectors today, what they'll do is they'll open up a pack, and if they get a rare card that's like super shiny, they are immediately going to sleeve that card, and then they're going to probably triple sleeve it, and then they're going to put it in their binder. This is what's probably going to help it the most. And you're also not going to keep it in any non-climate controlled areas. So your garage, your attic are very horrible places to keep these cards. If you want to look at a condition of a card, you can hold up a new one to an old one. You can see clearly just how bad your condition card is. Now, other things you want to take note of is how many scratches are in the holofoil, because yes, these cards do get scratched, and yes, that does affect the value, and no, you can't buff out these scratches. I'm sorry. So let's say you finally have one of these Charizards, and it's in mint condition as far as you can tell. There's no scratches on the foil, there's no bends, no creases, and it looks as thin as a brand new crisp card. It even has that new card smell. The most important thing you can do now is get a triple sleeve and send it in to PSA and get it rated. Now, PSA rates from a scale of 1 to 10. If you have a 1, that's a crappy card, not worth anything. If you have a 10, that is when you can probably go to eBay and start selling the card for what it's worth. Now, if you go see on TCG Player that a card is worth $1,000, you can probably get maybe $1,500 out of that card if it's rated 10. It's all about what the customer feels it's worth, and that's the entire point of this video, is that the card is not worth the price you see online. The card is worth how much it is to you. How much are you willing to spend on that card? How much is another person willing to spend on that card? Personally, I'm never going to spend $1,000 on a Charizard when I can get a 98-cent Charizard off of the internet and just have one that looks like it. I mean, authenticity is nice, but at the end of the day, I just like collecting the original 150, and they have reprints, so I'm going to settle for a reprint. But that's all I got for today. Please like the video and subscribe, and I hope this video helps you guys out. We got a couple of deck profiles coming up soon. We'll have some duels. I will have Duel Links videos coming at you soon because I love that game. I can't wait to start playing it with you guys. And we will see you in the next video. Peace!